Hey guys, so for this video I'll be doing a haul for the month of November, December. For those who have not watched my previous unboxings or my last few videos, this is I think my only haul that I really done this year. But long story short, I did not really purchase albums for the first half of the year. I went on a couple trips uh, during the summer. I was finishing up school and I was saving so much money so I can afford to do a lot of things that I wanted to do. And I was fortunate enough to do all the things I really wanted to do. So, um, K-pop is really expensive and I had to cut back on my spending. I will still cut back on my spending, but I would think I'll do kind of that type of video on a New Year's resolution type of thing, that is kind of K-pop related. But I've been splurging a lot this past November, late October, and this December with some purchases so I can catch up on groups that I've used, like I've collected for a while. So over here, for most of the groups you'll see here, they're mostly all um, second gen, except for I think there's only one that's kind of more on this, well, two that are more current. But yes, so we'll kind of discuss a little bit about each kind of thing kind of quickly and just show what I currently have for the month of kind of November, but I'm titling this video for December. I am ordering a few albums, but I don't know if they'll come by the end of the year. So I'll probably title it January. But yeah, let's get started. So the first album I have here is EXID's Me and You. This is kind of right now their last Korean release, and I think it's probably their last Korean release ever, unless they, you know, make some sort of adjustment regarding like how they're gonna promote as a group. But yes, an update, I did unbox this. If you want to watch the video and kind of hear my thoughts on this packaging, watch it. I also mentioned that I will be making an updated full album collection for EXID. I'm one of the few people that have a kind of complete collection for them for the Korean releases, because I have the first physical release, which is extremely rare and almost impossible to find now. So yeah, look forward to that video. I just kind of have to look around my house to find each of the albums. Hopefully I upload it by this month. If not, probably by January, since I'm kind of rearranging my albums and then kind of listing where I'm putting each thing. And I am planning on buying shelves, so maybe I'll film my new shelves or something. But we'll see. But yeah. Then I have GFRIEND's second studio album, Time for Us. I haven't gotten their latest mini album. I wasn't. I don't want to say I wasn't too impressed by it, but the single that was released for it didn't particularly do much for me. I will get it soon. But yes, but this is one of my favorite releases this year. This is like the special limited edition and or whatever. I forgot what it's called, but it's a special edition. I don't know if it's called the limited. Anyways, then I have MFlying's Yahoo. This is their latest mini album so far. I kind of have everything that they released, except for the other mini that they released this year, and their single album. I really, really enjoy their sound. I will kind of make an unboxing videos for this after I film this, because I haven't filmed this a video for it. But I am so happy that they finally like had this random hit all of a sudden this year, and it kind of revived them, because I think they were at the brink of disbanding, because they really were not doing that well in Korea. But I am so happy that I think the song's called Rooftop, gave them that exposure, and I don't see them disbanding anytime now. I think that at least with that song, they have a good amount of time to kind of keep it going. It wasn't particularly my favorite song that they ever released, but I really enjoyed this mini album. I really enjoyed a lot of their previous mini albums. They're really solid releases, and who knows, maybe they'll release their first studio album in 2020. But I'm so happy, so happy. I love their sound. They're one of my top kind of K-pop bands. And yes, they just have this really distinct style that kind of sets them apart from like FT Island and CM Blue and DaySix, which are kind of like the ones I collect. But yes, really, really happy. I love this packaging. I'll unbox this and kind of talk about the album. But I really want to give it like a second listen to kind of talk about the tracks. Then I have FT Island's 7th mini album, Zapping. Of course, if you are not familiar with my channel, I'm a big FT Island fan, and I know with Jonghoon's whole scandal is tainted like their image a lot, but I don't think it really relates to the other guys. Really disappointed in that, but let's not think of him, and the good thing is that FT Island used to be called 5 Treasure, but it can be 4, so with 4 Treasure Island, so good thing on that. And yes, I got this so I can kind of keep up with my collection for them. They're one of the few groups that I basically have a complete set for their Korean releases. I do have a few of their Japanese albums, but I haven't dived into that world yet. And I think this is probably their last release for a bit, because members having gone to the army. But I think they like Min Hwan had like a revival with kind of his exposure with having a baby, which is pretty weird that he's like all of a sudden kind of getting more attention because he has like a baby. Whatever. But yes, this I have to give this, I'll be honest, I really haven't listened to this, but I got this because I got it at a really, really, really good price. And usually I like their albums, so I'm pretty sure I won't be disappointed by this release. But as of right now, I really haven't listened to this. But again, it has been kind of on track for my collection. Then I got DaySix's 3rd studio album, Entropy, the Book of Us, Entropy. And I really like this packaging as well. I did listen to this. I enjoyed it. I'll make an unboxing for this. So actually these 3 came in the same day. So the 3 bands that I kind of are active that I listened to, basically all came in the same day. And they all kind of had releases near the end of the year, which is pretty funny. Then I have Blackpink's Kill This Love. I did an unboxing of this, so if you want to watch it and hear my thoughts on it, I uploaded a video for it. Yes, just sad that they didn't have a studio album this year. I don't know, the mistreatment that they get with YG is just I can't even describe. But yes, one of my favorite singles this year. And yeah, kind of that. And another thing with Blackpink, I did get another of their albums that I don't know if it will arrive near or soon, but I think it will probably arrive near the end of the year, if not the beginning of January. I got one of their things that I'm really happy about, but I don't want to spoil it. But keep a lookout on another Blackpink unboxing video. And yes, it's one of their Japanese releases. So then I have Yuna's A Walk to Remember. This is kind of like a special release solo that she had. And that means that we have Sunny, Hyoyeon, Sooyoung still waiting on their solos. I'm on the edge of my seat just to hear like Sunny solo. That's like one of my wish lists for K-pop forever. It's just, I think she's extremely unappreciated, because usually for Girls' Generation, SM just mainly promoted like Jessica, Taeyeon, Yoona, and then Tiffany and Sohyun, like when they were TTS. But those were kind of like the members that were kind of pushed more up front. And then, Hyoyeon has gotten her digital singles, but not a full actual physical release. And then Yuri got hers. So Sunny's kind of been like doing, I think like she has like a radio show and she does like variety here and there. But she has such a unique voice. It's just like I want to hear what she would like to do, because usually with these solos, at least under SM, they really cater to the fans and like the individual artists. So like it's because for the most part I don't think it's necessarily made for like the charts, as you can say, because a lot of these groups are much older and most of their following goes towards fans who kind of buy their physical albums or their stuff that or like goods or things like that, and like go to like their fan meets and concerts and things like that. They're not necessarily geared towards killing it on the streaming and all of that, because they're much older. It's a much older fandom. I don't know how else to explain it. The only exception for this is like Taeyeon, but yes. So I really, really want a Sunny solo, because obviously So-wons are gonna back it up to some extent, but if they keep on waiting, I think it will just kind of decrease the chances of it selling a decent amount of copies, which is kind of what happened with Yuri with her release. It wasn't like the top selling album, but I feel like if they would have released it a bit earlier, I think they could have boosted the sales for that. But we'll see if she wants to do it. I hope SM gives her one, but I really, really want to have within like my little section for my collection for Girls' Generation, just to have a solo from each of them. And it's just upsetting that Hyoyeon hasn't gotten like a physical release. So I hope that at least those two get it, and Sooyoung as well, who is extremely overlooked. But she's under a new company, so I don't know how that'll go. I feel like she's focusing more on acting, but here I'm here for any like solo, cause yes. And the only thing I did not get that was Girls' Generation that was released this year was Taeyeon's Japanese mini, which I really, really want to get, and Tiffany's English release, which I've been meaning to get, but I've been always kind of forgetting. But yeah, again, this is kind of like a little rant for Girls' Generation. But yeah, really happy that Yuna got a solo. And the photo book's absolutely stunning. The next thing I have here is Bright Eyed Girls Revive. I did an unboxing of this as well. I'm really glad to see that there's a lot of kind of engagement from Bright Eyed Girls fans, because I don't think really anyone really has uploaded an unboxing for this, or at least not that many people. And please purchase this album. But yes, I kind of just talked a little bit about how this album is not necessarily a K-pop release. It's kind of just more um adult contemporary jazz ballad, um a little bit kind of funky type of sound. This isn't a K-pop album. Like, I'll just be straight on honest. Like, if you're expected to hear something like this, I don't know, but they're just much, I think it's just for a more mature audience. But regardless of that, give it a listen. Yes. And then for my Secret Santa, thank you again, Wanhead, or Carolyn. She got me the APink 8th mini album Percent, and this is one of my favorite releases this year. I kind of have to pinpoint which are my favorite songs this year and kind of pick out kind of which one's my favorite, which is sometimes really hard to pick because it really depends on my mood. But is within the top 5 for sure. I am so proud of APink and how far they come the past 2 years. Because even though I enjoyed 5, I thought it was a step back for them musically after their 3rd studio album. I thought that was a really good release and a good kind of stepping point for them. And I feel like their company, just like with the fact that I don't think they really won anything with that album and it didn't necessarily chart too well, I think they stepped back and went back to their usual sound, which I don't mind. But I feel like they were going in a great direction, and then they took another risk with I'm So Sick and with this release. So really, really happy. I cannot wait for the next album. And yes, I'm so happy that she got me this album, because it has one of my favorite songs, and I love APink so much, and they're one of the few groups that I've been listening to since their debut that are still kind of more on the active cycle of things. So really glad that I have this album. And I don't think I've unboxed this, but I'll probably do it soon. I've Mamamoo's White Wind. I think this is what it's called. Anyways, yeah, White Wind. I recently got their not their first studio album, their second studio album. And that should be arriving this December. And I will be up. This is another one of those videos that I really want to make. Another full collection for Mamamoo. And I will hopefully I'll be uploading that along with the EXID. They're one of the few groups that I kind of have a complete collection, except that I don't have their solos that they release kind of on their special packages. But I do have all their studio, their Korean releases as a group, because I know they have something in Japan. But it looks so nice when it looks all put together. I cannot wait to put them in like all together. It just looks really like visually pleasing to look at, because the packaging is practically all the same, except for like the first few releases, and I just love it. Like Infinite used to do that, and then they started doing special editions, and then they stopped. They started changing up the packaging. But Mamamoo has kept up with this, and I'm so happy because it just looks really nice. I only wish that the first few albums had the same packaging, but they were on a budget during those days. But now they kind of have that support from the fans. Um, but yes, I will be getting their new one. It's called Black on something, or yeah, but it's a Black album. Um, and last but not least, um, something I unboxed recently as well, Taeyeon's Purpose, the special or the limited edition. Hands down, my favorite album this year. Um, I'm just speechless with Taeyeon this year. It's just I absolutely love her. Like I really can't. Like she and Jessica, and I love Jessica. Like don't get me wrong. It's like I think most of my K-pop friends know that Jessica is like my ultimate bias, but my ultimate biases consist of like Jessica, Jokwon, Kain, and Taeyeon. And I never really mentioned Taeyeon much, like especially at the beginning of my YouTube, but Taeyeon's taking over. Like, don't get me wrong, I still love Jessica, and I still love Kain and Jokwon, but Jokwon doesn't really promote that much music. Um, I love him as a person. I think, like he'll never get his title away. But Taeyeon is like the person that's been keeping me still so tied to K-pop. Like, just hands down, with Girls' Generation not necessarily promoting as a group and every year it takes a toll on me, and like my top groups really don't promote much, but the fact that Taeyeon has just been doing it, like she's been doing it, especially this year, um it's just like, like I'm so glad that I've been a Sowon for so many years. Like now it will be actually 10 years, um basically in January, February. um and it's just really special because I basically grew up with a lot of these groups, and I'm just so proud of her. Like this album, all her solo work this year, um I'm literally speechless. It's just, and all the SNSD members as well. Like I loved Jessica's single, which is something I've been meaning to get as well. That's one of my favorite songs this year. I hope she releases a studio album in 2020. But Taeyeon has been absolutely killing it. Absolutely killing it. And I am so proud of her. Um, I was listening to this album on repeat um, the other day when I was cleaning my room. And every song in here is just... my musical taste has kind of like shift a bit the past or 2 years, and I don't know, I'm just so proud of her. Like I know, I guess there's a lot of rambling in this video, but please give this a listen. I love her so much. Like I cannot, like, and the only thing that I dislike about this album is the fact that, and it's also not like a bad thing, is the fact that it doesn't go along with all of the Girls' Generation releases, because this is much bigger than everything else. And it doesn't like align with all the other ones, but this album is so special. I don't mind that it's bigger. And yes, I'm super excited to see what she's gonna do in 2020. I hope she has a third studio album because she deserves it. And she doesn't need to go on music shows to sell or to chart. I'm so proud of her. Like, it's just and one thing's for sure, like, as long as she's like okay with like just releasing the music and all, like, we, like, us, the fan, all us, the ones, we will support it for sure. And I just hope she's okay. That's like one of my number one thing for Taeyeon. Aside from just all the music and all of that, is I hope like she's okay next year, and that she's happy and that she's healthy, because this year really took a toll on a lot of fans and a lot of the industry with Sully and Hara, and these were close friends for Taeyeon. But and I it's difficult for me because FX and Kara were groups that are also among my top 10 of all time for K-pop, and I grew up with them as well. So I hope Taeyeon is just happy, and I don't want any bad news with anything regarding like anyone in general. And yes, just support, listen to the music, don't be involved in stupid drama, and just, yeah. And that's one thing I kind of really took a step back with K-pop, is like, don't take it so seriously. It's just music. And I feel like a lot of the times the fans just demand too much and just attack. And then you have all these just crazy expectations. I'm just here for the music. And I've really kind of stepped out on a lot of this other stuff. And yes, so again, sorry for the long rant, but I wanted to make a video showing everything that I got. I guess I talked a little bit about my plans. I will unbox some of these albums. I will also make some collection videos for Mamamoo and for EXID, and probably some other groups that I kind of have been completing little by little. I think Bright Night Girls is another group that I've got kind of like all their stuff kind of together. And yes, if you have any other questions, please comment down below. Thanks for watching, and I hope everyone has a great day, great week, and great rest of the year. Be safe. And yes, I cannot wait for the new year. I will probably maybe do like a tag video for like my favorite releases, I think so. And I will also be kind of doing resolutions or planning for 2020. I don't think I'll be buying as much K-pop again for the new year. I've been kind of stopped buying some out, like just in general, so many albums, because I need to start saving for future stuff. And yeah, hopefully 2020 is even better than this year, because on a personal level, I had a great year. All right, guys, bye.